What's up guys, it's Gamer Boy, and today I'm doing another tier list video because the other one did good and I just need some content to make, so yeah. And I also had an unwritten rule with myself so that if the previous tier list video did good, I would make
another one.
See what I did? See what I did there? Yeah, so anyways, we're gonna make
Another one.
Okay, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. But, yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. And I got rid of that screencast-matic thing because they put a freaking watermark on my video.
Bruh.
So, anyways, here is the Apex Legends weapon tier list. Whoa. Before we get started, go follow my Twitch. It's free, it's easy, it's fast. There's nothing that is that bad about it. So, and I'm trying to get to affiliate, so just help me out. Go follow. It's free. Thanks. Bye. Alright, another weapon tier list video. So, for this one, we have the same rules as last time. Whatever's closest to the right is the best of that tier, and whatever's closest to the left is the best, and whatever's furthest to the right is the worst of that tier. So, yeah. And for this weapon tier list video, I'm not going to be including hop-ups because hop-ups are just, they're too much based on RNG, and it's not, like, helpful when making a tier list. Like, I can't, like, have the RNG just doesn't make it viable. Like, I can't say, oh, this gun's insane with the hop-up, but without it, it's garbage. And hop-ups are so based on RNG that most of the time you're probably going to have the garbage, if it is garbage. So, I'm just not going to include hop-ups because they're just too much based on RNG, and they're not going to, like, help our tier list in any way. So, the first weapon in D tier is the L-Star. The L-Star is just not good, and for a reminder, ignore all these weapons to the right and still on the bottom. Those weapons haven't been placed yet. I kind of ran out of room to place them before we moved them. But yeah, the L-Star is in D tier. It's a pretty bad gun. Like, although they did buff it, you just can't see with it. And yeah, again, ignore that. You just can't see with the L-Star. The muzzle flash is crazy. The projectile, it's like they move so slow. And sure, it does decent damage, but the time to kill with it is just so bad. Next up is the alternator. Or actually, the RE45. I forgot. The RE45 is much worse than the alternator. The RE45 has the weirdest recoil pattern I've ever even seen in my life. It's just so inconsistent. It's so inconsistent, and the iron sights are bad. It's just bad in general. It's just really bad. And of course, the alternator. You can't see with the alternator. You can't do anything with the alternator. It does almost no damage, and you can't do anything with it. It's so bad. For me personally, it's only good if you have the augmented iron sights that come with the legendary skins LED res and the galvanizer, but without it, with the regular iron sights, I can't see, in my opinion, and it does no damage and fires so slow. And I don't know why they removed destructor rounds. It was a great hop up for the alternator in RE45. But yeah, our next gun in C tier is the longbow. The longbow used to be good back when there was like no snipers really in the game, and it used to be the best because it did good damage and had a good fire rate. But now, the other snipers just totally outclass it. It's slow and it's funky. And, oh yeah, let me rearrange the stuff over here. Yeah. It's slow and it's funky. Yeah. Next up, we have the Sentinel. The Sentinel is okay. I think the amped damage needs to do a little bit more damage, but overall, it's pretty good. But it's nothing like crazy. which is why it's in C tier, as well as it's a sniper. So it's a decent sniper, and snipers are normally just outclassed by other guns, so that's really why it's in C tier. Next up, in B tier, or at the end of B tier, I guess. Let me do a little scoochy first before I announce this. At the end of B tier is the Spitfire. The Spitfire is okay, which is why I'm still putting in B tier. The recent nerfs to the hipfire, which is what I used most of the time, and that's where I think it excelled at. The recent nerfs to that just made it and the recoil is crazy and it's just not that good anymore. Next up is a charge rifle. The charge rifle is actually insane. If you can aim, then you can be hitting 90s all the time. And although it has an absurd reload time, it's really, really good. And that's the only reason I'm not putting it in A tier, is because the reload time is so ridiculously long, and it consumes 2 ammo per shot, but that's really it. Next up in B tier, the Devotion. I don't really need to say much about the Devotion. The Devotion's in a good spot. Let me do a little scoochy. The Devotion's in a good spot. It's where it needs to be. It needs to be the best of the LMGs, but not insanely broken and overpowered. They nerfed the damage and made it harder to find, and so I just think it's in a perfect place where it's at right now, in the mid B tier section. Next up, we have the EVA 8. Now, with double tap, oh wait, we're not using hollows, guys. Why would you even say that? Come on, guys. But yeah, I would say the EVA 8 with double tap is high A tier. It's very good. But we're not including hop-ups here, guys. So the EVA 8 base is so bad. If you don't have a shotgun bolt, it's an automatic shotgun that fires like a Mastiff. So yeah, it's very slow and not good. Once you get a blue bolt, it fires decently fast, and you hit 63, 63, 63 all the time. With the purple bolt, if you have high sensitivity, go for it. You can obviously control that because it's so fast with the purple bolt. Me, I don't have super high sensitivity, so I find it incredibly hard to control with that purple bolt because it just fires so fast, which is kind of crazy to say. I should be appreciative of super fast fire rate with the purple bolt, but in my opinion, I just can't control it. Maybe I'm bad, I don't know, but it's really hard to control, but that doesn't even interact with my choice to put it in B tier, because it doesn't have double tap and we're not using hop-ups. So that's gonna be it for B tier, I think. Anyway, we'll start off with A tier. First gun in A tier is the Flatline. The Flatline's good. It's not bad, it's good, but it hits hard and it's automatic, right? But it's called an AR, but you can't even use it at mid-range because the recoil is so ridiculous, and it totally defeats the purpose of an assault rifle. It's supposed to be an assault rifle. It's supposed to be able to hit from mid-range, but the Flatline's recoil just completely defeats its purpose, and that's why it's at the bottom of A tier, because it's good, but it defeats its own purpose. Next up in A tier is, oh wait, I forgot. I need to put the Havoc in B tier. Hold up. Yep. I almost forgot about the Havoc. Yeah. Just really quickly, the Havoc sucks without turbocharger. And oh yeah, right. We're not including hop-ups. The charger time is ridiculous, and they nerfed it into the ground with the recoil. So the Havoc's just not viable anymore. Just not even close to what it used to be. So the Havoc's gonna stick to the B tier. Alright, well, back to A tier. We have the Triple Take. The Triple Take is good. The only reason I'm not putting it in S tier is it is a sniper, and it's not practical to use as a sniper shotgun, although it's incredibly good. So the only reason I'm really not putting it in S tier is because it's meant to be a sniper, not a shotgun. Next up in A tier, the G7. The G7's insanely good. It's always been good since season 1. Even after the recent nerfs, I think, was it season 4? It's still been, like, the best sniper that's not a sniper. And it's been one of the best light ammo guns in the game. It's really fun to use, and it's really fun to shred people, like, with only 6 bullets. So that's why it's an A tier. Next up in A tier, we have the Wingman. The Wingman used to be good before they nerfed, like, the magazine size, but overall it's still really good, and it hits hard, but it's more of risk versus reward thing. If you hit your shots, you're golden. It's so good. But if you miss, you're dead. Like, if you miss like 3 shots, especially like 3, if you miss 3 shots, you're dead, pretty much. If you miss 3 straight shots, you're dead, and it's just that risk versus reward thing. So yeah, and even with Skull Piercer, I wouldn't really change it because it's the same damage as that headshot, but yeah. So that's why it's an A tier. The first gun we have in S tier is the R99 or the R99. I don't know why I said R9, but whatever. The R99. So the R99 is good. It spits lead, as the actual description says, and it's just overall really good. It's your bread and butter. It's what you always want. But it is outclassed by the remaining few guns. Next up in S tier is the R301. The R301, the only reason it's slightly better than the R99 is because the 301 is consistent. With the R99, if you miss, you're missing a ton of that clip, and then you might die. But the 301, if you miss a couple bullets, it doesn't really matter, especially if you have extended mag. It's just so consistent, does good damage, has a good fire rate. It's consistent, which is why it's really slightly above the R99, and why it's also in S tier. The next gun in S tier is definitely the Volt. The Volt is so good. Let me do a little scoochy. I have more guns in S tier, but the Volt is so good. It does insane damage for an SMG. It does literally 16 damage and 17 on low profile as an SMG with, I think, maybe, well, I don't know, but it has a fast fire rate. It does 17 damage. It's so good. Like, it's so powerful. You can literally kill people in 12 hits, 13 hits. Not even the base mag. You don't even take up the entirety of the base mag to kill someone. It's so good. It has no recoil. And the iron sights are good. No recoil. It's just insanely good. Next up, we have the Hemlock. And you obviously know the final choice, but before that, the Hemlock's good. Even after recent nerfs, it still shreds people. It's insane. Is there really nothing more I need to say about it? It just shreds. Even though it now does 20 damage instead of 22. That burst, especially if you hit a headshot, is so punishing. It will shred you to pieces. And, well, yeah, that's it. And our winner, obviously, is the Mastiff. Woo! Yes, the Mastiff is the winner. The Mastiff is just insane. Wait, let me do a little scoochy. Wow, the pictures of these guns are really big. Anyway, the Mastiff is the winner. Although some people put the Hemlock over the Mastiff, I feel like after recent nerfs, the Hemlock's worse than the Mastiff because the Mastiff still slaps kids. It's still, you can kill people in 2 hits at the minimum, which is still crazy. And most of the time, it's either 3 or 4 hits, which is still really, really good. It slaps people to so much damage. And anytime I run into a Mastiff, I'm scared, okay? And most of the time, if the other player has a Mastiff, I probably die. It's just that good. It slaps people. It's just great. It's all around great. It's definitely the best gun in Apex Legends, and it 100% is going to get nerfed for Season 8. Hopefully. I mean, as much as I love the Mastiff, it does need to be nerfed because I'm getting slapped by it. So I don't want to get nerfed, but it needs to be nerfed, and I do want it to be nerfed at the same time. So, yeah. That concludes my tier list video. Those are all the guns. The worst is the L-Star, besides the Mozambique and P2020, that I did not include because we all know how bad it is. But, yeah. So, that's pretty much it.